Welcome back, everybody. We're happy to be back. For you guys, from your point of view, it hasn't been too long since we last uploaded, but for us, it has been a while since we've been sitting here talking in front of the camera. But we are here today to recap our Summer 23 season. The award show is finally here. It's our second proper award show that we've done. And, we're excited for it. Voting, like last season, was open for a week for our 8 or 9 categories we have. I believe it's 9.
It's 9.
And thank you to all of you who voted. The results are here. We have them tallied, written up, and we're here to present them to you today. Thank you again for everyone who voted, but we're going to, quit the chit-chat and get right to it. Pass it to Jared for the first award.
Yeah, I'd like to bounce off what Tyler said. Happy to be back filming. We haven't filmed anything in a few months.
You guys... since September. It's currently January.
Yeah, so it feels nice to be back in front of a camera and have some filming going on, but we'll get right into the awards because we don't want to be here forever and we don't want you guys watching forever. All right, so starting off, the first award we're going to talk about is our most improved player. This player, for the most part, we nominated 6 players for each category. The most improved players we were looking at from last season to this season, players who made strides to help their team better and played much better as an individual player. Our nominees are Charlie Davis from the Juice, Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, Christian Lugo Diaz from the Soft Serves, Daniel Michael from the Allman Brothers, Jesse Richter from the Wildebeests, and Brian Schwartzfeger from the Wildebeests. And our winner is Brian Schwartzfeger from the Wildebeests.
Let's go, Brian.
He playing for the expansion team Wildebeests, played for the Juice in the previous season, but he went and put a .380 batting average during the season with 3 homers and 20 walks. Pretty improved, led them to their expansion team. Started off to a rough start, but they went ahead and won the championship. So Brian was a huge part of that.
Yeah, Brian smashed it this season. I know the most improved award is kind of backhanded to get. I know that's not really the one that somebody wants to win because it's kind of insinuating that you kind of stunk somewhat last season and improved quite a bit this season. But I don't really think that's the case for Brian. He was good last season. He just really took a huge step forward. I think he hit in the mid 200s, I want to say, around probably last season to bump his average up over 100. Getting on base a ton, and he really, if you go back and watch the footage, especially in the playoffs as well, which we'll get into more later, he really, was just putting the ball in play a whole ton. Not to mention, he is a nominee for a future award coming up that we'll get into, but he was great defensively as well this season. I think that's something that kind of flies under the radar a lot in our league because we don't track defensive stats. It's just kind of if you know, you know, or if you watch the games, you know. But Brian definitely deserved this award. So did the other nominees, but congrats to Brian, most improved player for Summer 23.
Congrats to Brian.
So with that, we're going to get to our next award, most dedicated player. So this is going to be our guy who we can kind of lean on, we can trust is going to be there every single time we're out there. They're asking us stuff outside of the league, texting me and Jared, ideas to help, showing up to help clean up, help set up, and are really working towards us kind of growing as a whole.
Yeah, they're showing up to games when they aren't playing, helping out, helping support certain things like that.
So our nominees for that, Hiram Figueroa from the Wildebeests, Grant Ginnelich from the Pilots, Steven Murata, Chicks with Sticks, Jesse Richter, Wildebeests, Brian Schwartzfeger, Wildebeests, and Potter from the Pilots. And our nominee for this award is going to be Steven Murata, Chicks with Sticks. Happy my own guy, my own player brought this award home. He's been super dedicated to the league. He wasn't a part of any team at the start of the league. Signed to my team, was, I guess, traded to the soft serve for 1 game and then back. He really was willing to do anything to help the league when he just wanted to be a part of it and have fun and be a part of the team at the beginning. And as the season went on, he just became more and more involved, even in some behind-the-scenes stuff, providing his ideas. And, he came out to a lot of the series. He was always there to help set up, always there to help clean up, and really was just a big part of the league, constantly wanted to help out. So we appreciate him a ton for that. Appreciate everybody else who was nominated because obviously just the two of us, sometimes it's kind of a lot to handle, especially the setup and the cleanup of the field and all that. So congrats to Steven.
Yeah, it was also huge to Steven as a rookie in the league. Also came out and played in our first ever travel series, which was a long distance away from us, but he embraced it. He was there, had a great time. We all had a great time, but big to him. Also, huge props to Grant, although didn't win the award, but huge props to him for showing up to call that game when he wasn't even playing. But Steven, hopefully we get more travel series in the future, and I know Steven's pitched to me some ideas about it, so Steven definitely wants to do it again. So I think that's big reason towards why Steven won this award.
Yep. Moving on. So now to Gold Glove. Simply put, best fielder. Not one specific thing, just best all-around fielder. Not necessarily crazy behind-the-back putouts like we saw from Wendell this season, or crazy catches like we saw from Brian and Dre in the past.
But it's also about consistency and knowing that play is going to get made when the ball gets to them.
Exactly. So our nominees for that: Chris Escobio, Wildebeests, Grant Ginelick, Pilots; Christian Lugo Diaz, soft serve; Jacob Pryor from the Allman Brothers; Mohamed Tariq from the Pilots; and Tyler Wendell from the soft serve. And our winner for that, changing it up this season, Jacob Pryor has won the Gold Glove Award. Super happy to see that. He honestly was really, really great defensively this season. Kind of like Jared mentioned, it wasn't necessarily like flashy plays, even though he did make flashy plays. It was just more like knowing he was going to make the play or at least stop the ball. He had a lot of great catches. He had some great putouts. But if you go back and watch the games, there were so many like line drive, almost like wannabe double hits up the middle that he was making, like sliding stops to make, really just preventing what could be doubles and even potentially homers. And he was super reliable out there in the field. He's really quick, agile, makes good plays. I mean, reliable.
Yeah.
Maybe not as flashy, as Wendell with the no looks and stuff, but reliable.
Yeah, Jacob to me was a pretty locked down second baseman for the Allman Brothers. Although despite not having the season they wanted, I mean he saved a lot of more runs for them, made some great plays in the field. I think every time the ball was hit to him, you knew there was a pretty good chance he was going to come up with the ball and save the day.
Yeah. Well deserved. Again, everybody else nominated great defenders. Just congrats to Jacob. Congrats to the Allman Brothers for bringing home an award. Moving on, Rookie of the Season. Best Rookie of the Season. We had a lot, actually, this season, more than I would have anticipated, but we did add 2 new teams to the season, so one new team, not 2. But a lot of new players, so there was a big player pool for that. We're just looking for the best overall guy, best numbers, best stats. The people spoke and the awards fell how they did. And here are the nominees: Hiram Figueroa for the Wildebeests, Kaiser Fontanez for the Pilots, Mark Hirschfeld for the Wildebeests, Steven Murata, Chicks with Sticks, Alex Rivera, Wildebeests, and Zach Vita, soft serve. And this was a tight race, but your winner ultimately is Steven Murata, Chicks with Sticks. Again, I'm going to vouch for my guy. He had a great season. He hit 471, literally almost hit 500, which over the course of a season is crazy. He was there every series, so it's not like those are skewed numbers where it's like, he almost hit 500, but he never showed up. He was there every single time. A lot of at-bats, so to hit that well is great. 7 home runs, 22 RBIs. He also pitched to a 3.41 ERA, so really did it on both sides of the ball. As well as being his teammate, I can say, and Jared could probably vouch for this, great first baseman, like really reliable over there at first base, caught a lot of the balls, made some great plays, was also super dedicated, as we already mentioned. I really do think he deserved this award. It was a very close race. Don't want to give away the votes between him and Hiram. They both had incredible seasons. I want to give a shout out to Hiram as well. You guys can put hashtag Hiram Robbed in the comments if you guys want. I don't know, but the votes went how they went. Everybody else had a great season on this list as well. But shout out to those 2 guys, and shout out to Steven again.
Steven had a great season. So did Hiram. I think we knew going in it was probably between those 2. They both had great seasons. But at the end of the day, Steven won the voting. I think both of them were better in certain categories over the other, and I think just our voters saw that. I'm pretty sure Hiram hit more home runs by a decent margin, but I'm pretty sure Steven had the better average and RBIs, so it was like, all right, it kind of comes down to things like that.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
All right, moving on, we will be talking about our team captain of the season. We looked more so mainly here. I would assume the voters looked more at those who were able to take their team throughout the season and lead their team to something better than throughout the season or from last season or things like that. And our nominees are myself, Jared Allen from the Juice, Chris Escobio and Jesse Richter, who are both co-captains for the Wildebeests, Mohammed Tariq from the Pilots, Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, Lucas Callett from the Soft Serves, and Christian Miranda from the Allman Brothers. And the winner here is Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks. Led his team to their franchise to their second ever championship appearance. Although falling to the Wildebeests at the end, really put a team together. Definitely has had some losing seasons in the past that were not as pretty, but totally you can tell that Tyler's put together a squad to be a competitor in the league at this point. Not to say they weren't before, but they had some rough seasons there in season 1 and season 2. So now that we get to season 4 to see them playing for a championship, big moves. Anything you'd like to say, Tom?
Yeah, I'm happy to win this award. Thank you guys who voted for me. To kind of like put myself in the shoes of the people who maybe picked me, I would say it's probably based on what Jared said, from being a 3-win team a couple seasons ago to being a couple games below 500 last season to being 500 this season and making it all the way to the championship. Falling a few games short is a major step. And, that's obviously not by any means all on me, but it's on the team as a whole. And if you're kind of the head of that team, that's going to be assigned to you. Signing Steven was a big move for us that really propelled us. And we just keep getting better as a team. And I think, this award is a reflection of that. We're going to keep getting better. We're getting, more cohesive, and we're still just having fun out there like we always have been. So, thank you guys for voting for me. I appreciate it.
All right, moving on to the Cy Young Award, the award going to the best pitcher. Our nominees were myself, Jared Allen from the Juice, him, Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, Chris Escobio from the Wildebeests, Hiram Figueroa from the Wildebeests, Grant Gimelick from the Pilots, and Tyler Wendell from the Soft Serves. And the winner of this award is going to go to Tyler Dempsey once again for the Chicks with Sticks, who put up a stat line of a 2.06 ERA with 66 strikeouts and 32 innings pitched. Pretty good stat line. You can definitely tell that Tyler's pitching helped propel his team towards the levels that we just talked about in the last award. I don't think without his pitching they would have gone that far, so I think that's why the voters really saw to put him towards Cy Young.
Yeah, again, thank you guys a ton. I think out of all the votes, when this one came back and I saw that I had won, I was like, I humbly accept, but I was like kind of shocked a little bit. But I feel like I had a good season. Obviously there were a few games against some of like the stronger teams where I did give up a few runs, but I really just like to speak on my pitching this season. Everybody can see it if you were there or you watch back the videos. I really was just kind of letting loose and having fun. I was throwing knuckleballs and throwing 5 or 6 different kinds of pitches. I'm doing sidestep pitches off the mound, submarine over the top, all sorts of stuff. Because I kind of realized if you're just throwing the same pitch over and over again from the same arm slot, like I was before, like eventually everybody's just going to start hitting it. So I really just want to let loose and have fun. And I think it went well. I think the results showed. And, shout out to the other nominees, especially Jared had a great season. Escobio, if you look at stats, it probably was his award to win.
Yeah, Escobio might have the dirtiest movement in the league out there. So
yeah.
it's very hard to hit.
I don't want to say I didn't vote for myself for any of the awards because I feel like I just shouldn't vote for myself. So I actually did vote for Chris Escobio. So if he had won, I wouldn't have been shocked or upset at all. That's who I figured would have been the favorite. But yet again, thank you guys for voting for me. That's all I have to say. Moving on, I suppose, to Silver Slugger. Best hitter, simple, not homers, RBIs, average, all of it combined. Who are you the most scared to face when they're at bat? The nominees for this award: Chris Escobio, Wildebeests; Hiram Figueroa, Wildebeests; Grant Gimelick, Pilots; Christian Lugo Diaz from the Soft Serve; Mohammed Tariq, reigning Silver Slugger from the Pilots; and Tyler Wendell from the Soft Serve. And your winner, I feel like no shocker here, Chris Escobio from the Wildebeests. Absolutely massive season, hit 468, 16 home runs, 36 RBIs. I can speak as a guy who pitches a whole ton. He definitely, I think, is the toughest out in the league because not only does he mash the ball, but he'll take his walks as well. I know he doesn't like to, but the average speaks for itself. He does take his walks. The baseball experience just shows through. He gets a lot of hits, has a lot of power, bat speed. I really think it's the toughest. He's the toughest out. So, well-deserved. Everybody on this list can hit really well and mash, but congrats to Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I can back that up with Chris because I know the last season, the last series that my team played before getting eliminated from the playoff contention, he hit 2 walk-off homers against me when I thought we had the game. So, I mean, not to say he single-handedly won that series, but, like, he's definitely a hard out to face there.
Yeah. Congrats to him. Finally, the Silver Slugger winner switches hands. On to the next award.
Moving on to the playoff MVP award as we get towards the end of the awards here. Obviously, the nominees here are going to be players who played in the playoffs and played for the championship.
Yeah.
So the nominees are Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, Chris Escovia from the Wildebeests, Hiram Figueroa from the Wildebeests, Mark Hirschfeld from the Wildebeests, Alex Rivera from the Wildebeests, and Rafael Salman from the Chicks with Sticks. And winner of this award, I think, go to no one's shock, is Mark Hirschfeld from the Wildebeests. When he hit in the playoffs with a 500 average, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. He had a 2 ERA. And also what those stats don't show is how many diving plays he made from third base to throw people out.
He literally looked like prime Evan Longoria at third base. I mean, he was making plays like Machado. It was crazy. If you watched any of the playoffs or you were there, playoff Mark, phenom. I mean, from playing against him, he really, really took over and was a game changer in that series. I mean, he hit incredibly. Multiple home runs off me when I felt like I was having a good pitching night. In the game that he did pitch in the championship series, he only gave up a couple runs, pitched super well. I mean, he absolutely smashed it. Really, if he didn't play that well, I think that maybe my team pulls it out, or we at least go 7 games. I feel like I could say. And he really gave the Wildebeests the extra boost that they needed to kind of sweep that series up with no drama.
Yeah.
I don't know. He dominated. This was, again, without giving away the votes, the biggest landslide of the vote, I think, deservingly so. I mean, obviously the playoff MVP is going to go from a player on the championship winning team. That's just kind of how that award goes. And nobody better to win than Mark. Congrats to him. Just a beast.
Yeah, I mean, he was making defensive plays there at third that we hadn't seen all season or in all existence of us playing. I mean, he was hitting the ball to him, and you knew he was going to get out. It's definitely, on most days, that's you're going to be on base when you hit the ball there, but he wasn't letting it happen. So I think that's why Mark is there, and partially why they won the championship.
Yep, agreed.
All right, moving on to the final award, the MVP, the most valuable player for the season. Our nominees are Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, Chris Escovia from the Wildebeests, Hiram Figueroa from the Wildebeests, Grant Ginelick from the Pilots, Muhammad Tariq from the Pilots, and Tyler Wendell from the Soft Serves. And the winner of this award goes to Tyler Dempsey from the Chicks with Sticks, hitting with a .398 batting average, 11 homers, a 2.06 ERA, and 66 strikeouts. Big season. Not to diss anybody on your team, but I feel like clearly his team's best player and helped carry that team as far as they got.
Yeah, I mean, again, thank you guys for voting for me. I'll gladly take the award humbly, but, I feel like this was a tight race for sure. I think definitely, again, I did vote for Chris Escovio. I don't vote for myself. Everybody on this list was super deserving. I mean, I do think I had a good season. Both sides of the ball hit for a good amount of power. Took my walks, which is shocking, because normally I don't do that, but I did take my walks this season. Got on base, and then, as we talked about earlier, pitched well, was having fun. But like Jared mentioned, I think the overall, if I could, again, put myself in the shoes of the people who voted for me, it would be the fact that my team, lack of a better term, sucked 2 seasons ago, and we almost won the championship this season. So that kind of propels the whole team forward and propels me forward for people to vote for me for this kind of award. I'm not gonna, I think I'm a big part of our team's success, but that's not, I love my guys. I think we'd still be a really good team without me. But I think, to play devil's advocate a bit, if you would take Chris Escovio off the Wildebeests, granted he's incredible, I think they would still be a really good team because they're pretty stacked.
Yeah.
I think they still would have been a pretty strong playoff team even if you took Chris off that team. If you take me off my team, I don't know, because I do a bulk of the pitching. I still think we definitely would have been a playoff team, but I don't know if we would have pushed as far.
I don't know if the ALCS would have gone that way.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't want to be braggadocious and, just trying to understand why people would have voted for me. Because again, I was pretty shocked when Jared tallied the votes and was like, you won. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. But yeah, I guess that about does it. Thank you guys, everybody who voted for myself and voted in general. Obviously, there's no award show if nobody votes. There's no award show if nobody plays. So thank you for everyone who voted, all the nominees. Congrats. Everybody had a great season. I guess this kind of wraps up the summer 23 season as a whole. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who watched, everybody who played. Great season. We're only looking to, again, grow and get better, make better videos, put out better content. 2024 season is coming. We will be making a video soon about the crazy off season we had. It was nuts. We'll cover it in that video. But
Yeah, if you followed some teams on Instagram, you've probably seen some of the off-season moves that have happened, but it's some pretty chaotic stuff.
The league has definitely changed pretty much completely, I would say. So
yeah, the landscape of the league, very different going into season 5.
Yeah.
But
should be fun. We'll be recapping that soon, but thank you guys for tuning into this video. I know we were going to try to keep it short, and we're at 20 plus minutes. So if you watched the whole thing, thank you. We appreciate it. We will see you guys for the 2024 season. See you in the next one.
see you.